In this movie, we'll review the application process for the PMP and CAPM. As we move along, I'll point out the differences between the two applications. Let's map out the process and timeline to start off with a broad picture of the entire process. I'd like to say first that whether you choose to become a PMI member or not, you'll need to register on their website, which is a quick and free process. Registering on their website will allow you to process the application online. It's a great benefit to do this online because it really speeds up the process as opposed to mailing in a paper application. The timeline I'll show you here will assume that your application is submitted online. Once you've begun the application process, you have 90 days to submit it. What I recommend is compiling all of your information before starting the process, such as the calculation of project experience, which is the most time-consuming part in completing the application. During this step, you will select computer-based testing or paper-based testing. Just a reminder that the paper-based testing is only available to those that live at least 186.5 miles away from the nearest Prometric testing center, or that your employer is hosting the exam for at least 10 employees. After your application has been submitted, it'll take 5 business days to be reviewed. Before submitting, double-check that your application is fully complete. This will avoid any holdups during this step. Assuming that your application was completed correctly, one of two things will occur. Either you will move on to the next step, or your application will be audited. The selection of who gets audited is random, so if you are selected, don't panic. Just follow the procedures provided to you, which will consist of providing the documentation to support the information on your application. This includes having the project experience that you noted on your application signed off by your current or your previous employers, providing a copy of your diploma, and showing a certificate or letter of course completion. PMI audits a certain percentage of applications, and I want to again reiterate that those are selected randomly. After you provide this information, it is reviewed within 5 business days by PMI. Once your application has been approved, you'll submit payment for the exam and schedule an exam date. Computer-based testing is scheduled through Prometric, as we've mentioned a few times, and PMI will provide you with a PMI identification code that will allow you to schedule this test with Prometric. At this stage, you have up to 1 year to take and pass the exam. If you fail the first time, you can retake the exam 2 more times during that 1-year time frame. And if you pass, congratulations, you're certified. The PMP certification is valid for 3 calendar years. To maintain your credential, you don't need to go through this process again or retake the exam. You just need to accrue a certain amount of professional development units, or PDUs. At the end of the 4th course of this series, Pmbok Part 4, we'll review PDUs in detail, but at this point, just note that this is relevant only to credential holders and must be met every 3 years. If you obtain your CAPM credential, you are certified for 5 years. After that period, you can choose either to take your PMP if you qualify, or you must retake the exam to recertify. And that'll wrap up the broad overview of the application process. In the next movie, we'll take a closer look at the application.